Okay, controversial topic. You ready for this?
I'm ready for this. Some people may not be, though. So
Yeah. Content warning.
The segments are marked here, so you could skip over potentially if that was a thing.
But don't do that. Because
don't do that. It's good. We take it.
We're gonna have ourselves an interesting little discussion about the AI takeover at the end. Not the one that we're experiencing, the one that may happen in the future.
Well, maybe. Well, the one that's not going to take over is this one.
It's
not that smart.
It's
not that smart.
And everybody's already got a bone to pick with Mozilla. Why not throw another bone on the pile?
Mm-hmm.
Mozilla comes out, what was it, about a month ago, with this thing called Orbit. And, well, what better way to understand what Orbit is than to ask Orbit, what's Orbit? And Orbit says, Orbit by Mozilla is a new AI-powered Firefox browser extension that offers summarization of web content with a single click. It works directly from the web page or video, providing a side panel with summaries, a chatbot for asking questions about the content, and adjustable settings. Orbit is privacy-friendly, as Mozilla hosts the Mistral 7B large language model in the cloud and doesn't share user data or queries with it.
I mean, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that's what Orbit has to say about Orbit. And we didn't, because we weren't technically, are we on the air? I mean, we're on the internet, but,
well, we're
let's say,
live-ish.
Yeah, live-ish. We're live to the producers, but
we are.
If we were on air, we weren't a month ago when this thing came out. But even if we were, I don't think I would have wanted to talk about it right when it came out. Because
you need some time. Yeah.
Right. This is something that I've heard, I mean, just AI in general, I've heard a lot about. I haven't really, dove into much. But once this came out, I decided, okay, fine, let's install it. Let's see what this is all about. Let's see how good it is. And I also installed LM Studio, which is a way to download models off of the internet and then just use them there locally like you would with a ChatGPT or something like that. So I got into just chatting with stuff. And I want to focus on Orbit because that's really what this bit's about. And I can't say I dislike it. I want to dislike it, right? Because everybody hates AI right now. It's glorified spell check. It makes mistakes. It tells you to put glue on pizza. It does weird stuff. It'll straight up tell you, it'll make stuff up sometimes, right?
Sometimes, yeah. depending on which one, yeah.
But specifically, I guess the 7B, Mistral 7B, has been very decent about what's going on, right? Because you're not, I haven't been chatting with it too much. I do ask it questions. In our live stream, I asked it like, what is the origin of cursive and calligraphy? Because Neil was on here. We were talking about writing and just in general, right? Because our live streams always go off the rails. I don't know. We talk about food and calligraphy.
We did, yeah.
All kinds of weird stuff. And it got that stuff right.
It's not a strong suit. I mean, at least for Orbit, I don't think that's certainly not the intended purpose. And so it's not necessarily its strong suit, although it does pull it off. I think where it really shines is obviously, like it says, it's great about summarizing the page you're on. It's great about summarizing the video that you're trying to watch. And so it uses the transcription stuff to summarize videos. So as long as that's pretty good, then so will the summary of the thing.
Yeah.
So the data that it's pulling from is like right there in front of your screen anyway. It's not trying to pull it from somewhere else to to come up with the summary.
Yeah, it doesn't Google it for you.
Right. So I think that's why it really works well at what it does, is it doesn't have to work hard.
Yeah.
And so it's a little small bit. It's you know, it's an assistant, if you will.
Yep.
To help you along. I've used it a bit. I've used it on some news articles and stuff to try to get some summary, mostly to see if like this is a news article I want to read. So I can get the summary before I really get into it, because, hey, let's be real. People put clickbaity titles on things so you don't actually know what the article is, because that's what the title was supposed to be originally, was a summary of...
Yeah, those clickbait articles deserve to be summarized.
Exactly. And so, that's what that's supposed to be, is at least an indication of what you're going to be reading.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes the summary gets a little bit more into the meat of the thing, and it's a little longer. It's probably a paragraph or two to give you an idea, and then from that you can know if it's worthwhile to read the whole thing or just not even waste your time.
Right.
I mean, that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a good way to kind of approach this thing. Is try before you buy kind of thing. But I have a secret. You can use Orbit to get around those paywalls. Like, whenever you read the 6th New York Times article or whatever, it's like, hey, we see you're enjoying the New York Times. Like, I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it, New York Times. But, just right-click your page, tell Orbit to summarize it, and bada bing, bada boom, somehow... Not somehow. It's a JavaScript weird shenanigans that New York Times is pulling. But, I mean, it reads behind that and summarizes the article for you anyway. So you couldn't read the article even if you wanted to, unless you paid. But Orbit can summarize it for you. And, what's funny is that you can go in there and do that yourself. You can go remove the JavaScript stuff yourself to get around those things.
There's other tools for that.
Right. But, I mean, this is pretty nice. So
it's easy, yeah.
Yeah. So I do kind of find myself using it every now and then. I did it. I had it summarize a couple of our videos. But like, the reason that I would watch a video is not wholly for the content. Like, the content, of course, yes, that's what drew me in the first place or whatever, but it's also the people that I'm watching. So, like...
Well, that's fair. I get that, yeah.
When I care about the subject or the host, speaker, person, thing that I'm looking at or whatever, when I care about any of that, at best, I'll use it like you do, Dan, to kind of summarize, do I even want to bother with this or not? And if I do, then, we're going to watch the long-form thing. We're going to read the whole article. We're going to watch the whole video, whatever it is. So Orbit is more like the demo, and then it helps me figure out whether or not I want to dive in and actually do the whole thing. So it's really, really good at that. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it might help you just prioritize the videos you're going to watch, right? Because, like, I know I want to watch Dan and Leo, but, I mean, maybe I want to watch, this other thing first because it's a little more interesting to me. And then it might lead into something that Dan and Leo are going to talk about. So, I mean, it can help you with that.
Yeah, you just watch all the histories in order, and then you know the secret to the universe.
Yeah, I mean, when we get to episode 42...
Yeah, that is Linux User Space .show /YouTube, Secret to the Universe, right there.
Yep.
Who knew?
So there's one other thing that you did that was interesting to me.
Oh, yeah! I'm so glad you remembered.
You had it summarize something, and it was extremely helpful for you.
Yeah, okay. So, full disclosure, I don't speak German. Not even a little bit. So there was a article about Seagate and how their refurbs were being sold as new. And at the time, I don't think there was any consensus on, was it Seagate's fault? Is it actually happening? Is it just an isolated, blah, blah, blah. So don't dogpile on Seagate unless we know the answer, in which case do dogpile on Seagate. But I don't have that right now. So I can't make that that determination. So, hold.
Right.
But the article about that, because this was happening in Germany, the article about that was in German, obviously. And so when the page shows up, my mouse immediately goes up to my handy dandy Mozilla translator add-on.
Yep.
And before I click translate German to English, I'm like, but wait. Do you think Orbit can do this? And so I checked. And you better believe it did. That just blew me away. So
that's pretty cool. So you didn't have to translate the page to put into Orbit to give you the summary. It just went right to the summary right there in English.
Exactly. So I'm going to be doing that a whole lot more.
That's handy.
Yeah, because the translators are like that one-to-one translator stuff. Like, it's good, but you're missing some context sometimes. And with the summary, you're missing context because it's an AI summary. So, whatever.
It's abbreviated.
That way you just get the information fire hose to the face and you're done. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that was actually an unexpected feature of Orbit. So, I mean, using this in this way to kind of try before you buy for the most part, or in cases where I couldn't buy, right? I don't read German. It was a fantastic way for me to actually get the context of what was actually going on. I don't know that I'm a true believer, but man, it's useful.
That is handy. I think that's handy.
And I think that's kind of my that's always been kind of my litmus test for, will I continue using it? Like, is it useful to me? And yeah, it's actually really, really useful to me. So I'm not going to uninstall the add-on. It's going to stick.
Yep. I'm keeping it around.
Yeah. It's
right
really
now the extension is currently available in English. So it gives you the summaries in English.
Right.
It would be I hope, and it would be great if they do the reverse, right? They get it in other languages so that the non-English speaking people can do the same things that you did.
Yeah, think about that.
And summarize it in their native language.
That is an accessibility thing, right?
I mean, that's almost a Rosetta Stone. I mean, right?
Oh, okay. We got a babblefish. Is that what's going on here?
Maybe.
What's funny is and Neil was poking at me for this one, but I always say, right, like email is just gonna professional email is gonna just end up being like ChatGPT writing an email, which you then send to somebody who then summarizes that email with ChatGPT and then sends you an email with ChatGPT that you then, right? So it's just this weird back and forth of AI chatter, and that's what all professional email is going to be.
I don't want it to turn into that.
I hope it doesn't. But I don't know, man. Like for something like this, there's some kind of utility into it. So
yeah, I mean, I think converting it to your native tongue, that's pretty huge.
Right, because it would have been inaccessible to you otherwise, outside of using a translator thing, which still doesn't even hit the mark, right? Yeah. So, in a case like that, yeah, why not? Just summarize it for me; it's fine. I'll be all right.
Yep. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah.
So one thing that I wish Orbit would do. Okay, because Orbit doesn't watch the video for you and summarize the actual video, it just uses the transcript to kind of guess and, because if what you're seeing on the screen is not what's in the transcript, it's wrong. So it is.
Well, listen, there's a lot of videos that don't have a lot of word spoken either.
Yeah, exactly. Like go to a music video and have it translate or have it summarize that for you. You'll be way off base, man. Like, where are the horses?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
Or you've seen those videos of Linux installations that just have the background music going.
Right. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Never going to summarize that.
It's just going to give you two musical notes. And it's like, oh, thanks, Orbit. You're great.
Yep.
One thing that I don't know if this is in the works. I really hope that it is though, or that something is in the works for this. Like what I would like is the image thing. Like if I can tell Orbit to look at an image and describe that image to me, because alt text is something that I go out of my way to do. Anytime I post an image anywhere, I go out of my way to write the alt text, because I know not everybody is able to view the image the way that I have posted it, right? So add a little flavor to it, and it's more accessible now. That's great. I wish that, because sometimes I really don't, I'm not a trained alt text guy. I'm just like, well, what do I see? Here's how I see the image. Here's what I notice in the order that I notice it.
Yeah. Are you missing details sometimes? I mean, you wonder, right?
1,000%,
You
right?
probably are. Yeah.
And there's usually a point when I'm writing that alt text where I'm like, good enough, right?
Yeah.
It's good enough.
Well, you don't want to write a whole page about it.
You say that, but to someone that can't see the image, they might appreciate that. And
they might.
And
you do have some limitations there, though.
Right. And so there's this sliding scale of like, how much energy do I want to put into it versus, what do I want someone to get out of it?
Right.
Right. So what I would like, though, is let me just do an AI, look at this image, give me the text. I will fluff it up. And I think using it as an assistant like that, not as somebody smart, not as anything that has any real intelligence, but using it as a alley-oop would take my alt text writing to the next level, right?
Yeah, and it, if nothing else, it would help increase your confidence so that you were doing things correctly.
Exactly, right? So obviously these AI things get stuff wrong. So obviously it's gonna give me garbage when I tell it to look at an image, right? It's gonna do that. And in that case, I'll throw away the garbage and write it myself. And then we're back on that scale of that's good enough, right? But yeah, so, and this is how I'm looking at this stuff now. And I think this is what brings it into the wider conversation of not just Orbit, not just, a little model that you can put into LM Studio or something like that, but just kind of like how useful these things can actually be and what their limitations are. I'm using this as an assistant that I have 50-50 faith in, right? Like anything you tell me, I'm going to question, because I've seen you talk about glue on pizza. I know that you don't continuously tell about glue on pizza, but I'm skeptical of the fix that you employed to get the glue off of the pizza. I'm very cynical in that way. I don't think Google actually fixed it. I just think they told their model to never talk about Elmer's glue in the same sentence as pizza.
Don't say that again.
Right. Like they didn't fix it. They just put a Band-Aid on it and hoped nobody asked the exact right question to get glue on pizza again. And they've been lucky because that would have immediately been on the internet.
Oh yeah,
So I'm looking at this thing as a
but it's correctable.
Right.
I mean, it's
and that's exactly my take on it. It's something that's going to give you a starting point that you can then refine into something that is both human and a good answer, according to me as a human, right? So yeah, man, I think they're useful. I for as much.
Yep, we just can't rely on it solely.
Correct.
We have to use it for the use that it's intended for.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, as a little assistant that I question often, I think it works great.
And
for that
wouldn't
kind of
you
thing.
anyway?
Right. I don't trust. See, here's the thing, right?
They're not the person in charge. They're your assistant.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it is up to me. Like, if I'm posting something under my name or whatever, like, I'm gonna make sure, because I've got anxiety about. I have anxiety about posting stuff on the internet, right? Like, is this right? I better quadruple check it. So, like, there's no way I would let it just write a post for me or whatever, anything like that. But yeah, so I mean, I think it can be really useful. So do you kind of sit in that little groove of it's okay?
I do. I mean, it's not going to take over, right? I mean, that's fine. I don't. It's never gonna.
The LLMs are not going to take over. Yes, I agree with you.
It's not going to be the thing. So I do. I agree. I think we use it for what it's worth, and double check the answers, but it can help aid you and speed things up.
Yeah. So this is the question that I've got.
Okay.
You say the LLMs. Well, you said it as in AI.
It.
All AI.
Well, I don't know what else to call it, but yeah.
Well, no, you're right. I think that's the it. It isn't it, right? Like it's not a person. Let's not give it too much thought. We're not giving it a whole actual pronouns. It's it.
It's not sentient
yet.
No.
Oh, see, now this is where this is going, man. Okay.
No, I don't. Not in my lifetime.
The LLMs aren't gonna take over. I agree, but people that look at AI and see it as much more than a 50-50 machine are gonna try and start using it for more than just a 50-50 machine.
I never said that people won't try it. I just don't think it'll be successful.
I guess it depends on your definition of success. So I don't know, man.
Fair.
We're talking about self-driving cars, right?
Yeah,
that are gonna be using you're right. Yeah, I'm not gonna turn that switch on and go to sleep. Absolutely not. That's too spoopy.
I mean, I get that it can keep you between two lines and at a consistent speed.
Yes. I've got some of those features on my car right now. I love them.
Yeah.
They're great. I get the rumble before I get the real rumble. And so only I know about that. So only I am aware that I'm drifting. So that's great. And right, like in it, I get I've done the braking thing for people in front of me or whatever. Like there's this one cool feature that will just keep pace with the car in front of you. Yep. Even though your cruise control is set higher than it's fantastic. There's some really cool features, right? But yeah, the moment you flip that switch and it's full hands off, kind of that's what scares me. But
yeah, I'd rather not. Yeah,
these are the kinds of things that are going to be pushed more and more and more. And are the manufacturers of these things going to be okay with just saying, yeah, man, it's good enough. 85%, close enough.
They will be because it will sell. And that's the scary part.
Right. See, now I'm not talking about Terminator T-2000s coming in mowing everybody down. I'm talking about AI is going to kill us because of these things. Because of the creature comforts that we get comfortable with. And then you end up with, that train thing where it's like, well, one person on this train track, 10 people on that train track. What is AI going to choose? Oh, I don't know. So that's where it gets hairy for me. But I think these are in our lifetime.
We've been dreaming these things for a long time already.
Hallucinating?
40 years? No, I mean, think about the Night Industries 2000. Self-driving car.
Oh, yes.
KITT?
Okay. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
Knight Rider.
That's right.
You've seen that show, right?
Yes, I have, and I want one still.
And guess what? That was pretty much what we're talking about.
Yeah. So
I just don't think we're there. I mean, that's 40 years ago, and we're going to be another 40 years before we get there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you say that, but this stuff has a knack for accelerating.
Yeah.
I mean, we started with Siri, and there's a lot.
No, we started with Clippy, but...
Oh my God, this is just Clippy, isn't it? This is... What did you call it?
Clippy plus plus.
Clippy plus plus. That's exactly what this is.
That's where we're at. And so we're still a long ways away.
Clippy came a long way, though. Clippy's come a long way. I mean, actually, here's what I want Microsoft to do, is bring Clippy back and then just make it Copilot. Like...
Yeah, why did they name it that?
I might actually use it if it was called Clippy. Now, I don't want to have to rename it myself.
I don't think Cortana was all that bad. She was pretty friendly.
Right. I thought Cortana was really cool. I mean, I think they got rid of her because you had to be kind of a Halo nerd to know who she was. But I don't think
I
you
mean, I
needed
think we're
to
far
know who
enough
she was.
along now. Yeah, I mean,
you didn't need to know who Cortana was but also Cortana's kind of hard to say. So
I guess.
it's like Bixby.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a Bixby?
I don't, but I mean, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Are you sure? I thought you had one of them Samsungs.
I do not. No, I have a Motorola.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
you're right. Absolutely right. I forgot who had a Samsung, but yeah, the old Bixby. That's too hard to say. I thought that was silly when they like Siri is easy to say, and I keep saying it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it did. Wait.
I got the I don't want to say it. Jiminy.
Oh, got it. Yeah, that's right. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But it's we've come a long way from there.
We have. It's coming, but I think we're going to be a bit.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I think it's coming faster than you're thinking, I think.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
I think 5 years, man. I think 5 years and we're going to have these.
All right.
You know, the phone and her.
It'll be somewhere between 5 and 40. That's where we're at.
Okay. Dude, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if it was 2. Like, if we had the phone from her in 2 years, like conversational at that level, and like getting into this weird parasocial relationship with a phone, you know? Like, I think we're closer than, I don't know. And then it's just an emotional fake to get you to do some weird away from.
I mean, I don't know.
Town.
I mean, it seems like a great way to get out of meetings. Maybe we could have them call us in the middle, and for the ones that we don't want to be at, and just say, "Oh, sorry, I got to take this call from Gemini."
I'm 1,000% fine with see this right here, just like with using a local deepfake thing. This is me in the meeting, but it's not me at all.
Right.
I mean, if I control it, I'm okay. I'm all right with that. Just nod your head every now and then, right? It's AI. It can summarize what they're saying and then give a response. It could even talk for me, I bet.
Probably.
I wonder. Well, anyway, let us know if AI is going to take over the world in the next 24 hours or not. And are you using Orbit, some LLM, some anything? Do you use it in your day-to-day? Does it write your code? Does it start your code and then you adjust it as you go on, as you build more, as you do stuff? Or do you think that this entire script in this entire bit was written by AI?
Yeah,
it was.
Or do you think it's a big giant Ponzi scheme and it's just going to go away?
I don't think so. It is a Ponzi scheme, but I don't think it's going to go away.
Yeah. Anyway, you can catch all these and other great topics as they unfold on our Lemmy, and more about that soon. Our subreddit and our news channel on Discord. So you can catch all those great links at linuxuserspace.show/Lemmy, Reddit, Discord, all those things. And, we're on Mastodon, Telegram, Matrix, Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky. I mean, I think we're on just about every social thing that's possible.
Yeah, we're out there. I mean, just type in Linux user space and in whatever app you use and hold your nose, press search, and we're probably there.
We probably are. So, yeah, go join us and, check them all out.